Hi, I'm Eric Cantu at Sharkbyte Software. I'd like to welcome you to the video presentation of TGX Exporter GA. TGX Exporter GA is a part of the Tiburon GX game engine, which we developed for our premier game title, MOS. It's been a really exciting experience for all of us at Sharkbyte, and we've had our share of experiences getting to this point. I'm standing in front of the first permanent office Sharkbyte Software occupied. It represents the initial presence of our company into the game industry in Houston, Texas. Join me in a little trip through the history of Sharkbyte as I make my way to our new location. It will give you a glimpse into what we've been through and where we're going. MOS and the Tiburon GX engine have grown from dreams and meetings in the classroom to this new studio located just up the street from our first location. Tiburon GX engine is continuing development, and the GA release is something we're giving back to the community that's treated us so well.
Eric.
Oh, hey Shell, what's up?
The skateboard is on the table. Would you mind circulating it around so everybody can sign it?
Sure, yeah, no problem.
Oh, and the notifications for the build went out. It looks good. But there seems to be a warning on some of the unit tests. Can you check it out?
Sure, no problem. In the process of working on our game and the engine simultaneously, the artists found it necessary to have some sort of exporter to view their art assets as they would seem in-game. But we soon realized that there wasn't really anything out there that was readily available for a small startup company such as ourselves. Hey Steve, can you sign this deck?
Sure. The art team needed something that would export their models, their characters, their buildings, and the terrain from 3D Studio Max to a format that we could use in the game engine. This led us to review exporters. Some of the exporters we looked at were free versions of Panda, paid versions of LithTech and Gamebryo. We weighed out the pros and cons of these exporters for what we needed and what they actually offered. And for what we needed customizable format, we needed optimized meshes, we needed animations using the bones of 3D Studio Max, and it had to be an extensible format, so we had to grow the format of the file. Some of the good things we found from the paid exporters, we didn't have to spend time writing the code for this. We didn't have to learn a new SDK, software development kit, and the artists could begin exporting their models right away. Some of the things we found, if we wrote our own, we didn't have proprietary issues. We didn't have to call up the exporter and say, hey, could you change this functionality? Could you add this functionality? Or could you customize it to our needs? So after weighing out the pros and cons of these exporters compared to writing your own exporter, we found, let's just go ahead and write our own exporter. We have full control at that point.
Hey Steve, do you know anything about any warning that comes up with the unit testing?
Hector was playing with the lease last night. I'm not sure. I didn't see any errors, but you might want to stop by and ask Carlos.
Okay, cool, I will, thanks. After evaluating these exporters, we were faced with three options: whether to use one of these, build our own, or just pack up our bags and quit. As you can see, quitting was not an option.
Quitting was not an option, but writing your own tools is risky, and writing our own tools delayed the development of our game. But in writing our own tools, we're able to put the data in a format that is best suited for our engine, Tiburon GX.
Hey Carlos, anything about a warning that came up on one of the units?
No, but why don't you go ahead and ask Raymond? I think he's probably in the server room right now.
Oh, will do, thanks.
Some of the issues we faced in developing our own exporter were problems in dealing with the Max 5 software development kit, but most of those issues were resolved in the release of Max 6. Also, in defining our own export format, there was a lack of documentation and examples available for us to follow.
Hey, Michelle mentioned something about warnings coming up in the unit test. Do you know anything about that?
Not really, but I'll look into it.
Okay, cool, thanks. Hey Rudy, what's up?
After a lot of hard work by the Sharkbyte team, we've arrived to where we are now. the TGX Export GA release. This version exports models, terrain, and animations. It supports a pluggable framework and handles multi-textures. The GA release is something that we as a team decided to contribute to the gaming community. We'll continue to enhance it and hope to get feedback from you on how to improve it.
Hey, this warning that keeps popping up, do you know anything about this?
Yeah, Hector's addressed the issue and we should have it on the next release.
Cool, thanks. All right, hey guys. Hey Hector, you sign this for me?
Hey Eric, yeah, the exporter went live on the web today.
Cool, let's check it out.
Sure, no problem. Let's start out by opening 3D Studio Max and viewing one of the examples that will be included with the TGX Public Exporter. Here we have Elise_walkcycle.max. I'll be using this file to show the various features TGX Public Exporter has to offer. Before we move ahead, let me briefly point out the minimum requirements and conditions which must be followed to run and properly use our exporter. You will need 3D Studio Max 6 and DirectX 9B or higher. Now, as far as conditions for exporting, there are no conditions for objects, but when exporting animations, there are a few that you will have to abide by. At the moment, animations must use Max's bone system. Also, object-to-object linking as far as animations go is not supported in the recent TGX Public Exporter. Now that we've reviewed over the requirements and conditions, let's have a look at the actual TGX Public Exporter. Okay, let's go to File and select Export. Save your exported file in a desired location. Under the Save Type As, select the TGX Export GA file extension. Here are the many features that are located within the exporter. Let's begin with Scene. Frame. Frame allows you to export any frame of your current scene. This is done by specifying a number. Animation. This option should be checked when exporting animations in your current scene. Within Scene, we have Frame Rate. Checking animation on will enable the frame rate feature to be used. Under Frame Rate, we have Keyframes and Ticks. Keyframes will allow you to save the current frames in your scene, and the video card will interpolate the in-betweens. The Ticks, on the other hand, is like keyframes, but instead of the video card interpolating the in-between frames, Max will export them at 1,000 ticks per second. This will make your exported file larger, but will relieve the video card of extra work. Next, we have Coordinate System. We give you the three options for coordinate systems: 3D Studio Max, DirectX, and OpenGL. Which one you choose depends on your needs. On the bottom left, we have the Texture Paths feature. Checking this option off and on will give you the choice to either export the texture's original path or not. If you choose not to, the file's texture will not be exported along with the model. Lastly, to the right we have Show in Viewer. Selecting this option will allow you to view your exported data in a real-time 3D viewer of your choice. Now that we've gone over the features, let's review our settings and make sure everything is the way we need it to be before exporting Elise. Everything looks good, so let's export. Deep Exploration, my choice under Show in Viewer opens up. And there is Elise, wonderfully exported. That wraps up the current features of our TGX Public Exporter.
Thank you for joining our team in the presentation of the GA release of our exporter. This tool is available free of charge and we'll continue to enhance it in our effort to support other independent developers. Okay team, let's break for dinner.